motherfucking technology.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
Hello everyone, welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And I'm going to shoot my laptop. Because I got a system update and it's we spent the last, 35 minutes trying to get the sound to work. It's a simple thing. Work! And it's always when you need to do something in a timely manner that everything has to run the slowest possible way, right?
It's like waiting for the microwave.
Motherfucker. Jesus Christ. So we want to hurry up and get done because we missed it yesterday because we were seeing Guardians of the Galaxy. But yesterday was the 20th anniversary of The Fifth Element.
Yes, I feel old.
Fuck, we're old. So we're going to get this done and I'm going to edit it up. Edited it. And then we're going to post it to YouTube, and then hopefully it gets copyright infringement banned. It's a whole nother story. I'm having an afternoon, folks. Have we said, hi, I'm Sean, and she's Janice, and we're the Pop Culture Cult, and let's get the fuck going. All right. So, like I said, yesterday, we went and finally got the chance to go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And I'm going to put this up. We're going to go over it a little bit. We might get a little spoilery because there's some stuff that happens that you can't not really talk about the movie without.
Yeah.
So spoilers. Spoilers. One too many jokes. Spoilers. James Gunn did it. So first off, let's go over like the overall of the movie. How did you like it? How did you feel about it?
So, I don't know that I liked it quite as much as you did.
True.
I liked it. I liked it. But I felt odd about it when we left. So I watched a couple of other reviews and found I am not alone. I am not Dan Mulberry.
Dan Merle from Screen Jockeys.
I'm not quite that bad, but I agreed with some of the things he said, and it made me feel a little bit better about how I felt about some things. So, I thought that. Okay, so I had a list. I had a couple things that I thought were not good, and some things I thought were good.
All right.
So, the whole plastic wax people that Ego brings to life to show what happened with him going to Earth and everything. I thought that was cheesy as hell. I don't understand why they did it that way. He's a god. He could have made people to represent the people instead of...
They were like moving statues.
It was weird. I don't understand. Right. The ball scene... I thought was cheesy as hell. He talks about throwing the ball with his dad, and then he makes this ball of energy, and they throw.
That's one of the best scenes of the whole fucking movie.
It was cheesy.
Come on, every guy out there wants to have one last catch with their dad, especially when they didn't have one.
It was just so
cliche.
It was very cliche. You knew it was going to happen,
right? And
I felt, in general, that they may have done too many of the comedic bits in the previews. There were several times where I felt like it was spoiled because I knew the jokes and I knew what was going to happen, especially in the end with the bomb and baby Groot and all that. I just didn't appreciate it as much as I think I would have, as much as I know I would have if I hadn't already heard all those jokes a bunch of times because we watched the previews a bunch of times and saw them in the movie theaters. Two of the things that stood out the most that I really liked were and nobody's talked about this that I've heard, is the CGI on Kurt Russell's face in the opening.
The Collider guys, I watched them today, and they talked about
it. We both were like, what? How? Because it didn't look CGI'd at all until they got to a side shot, and then it looked. You could tell it was CGI, but I mean, maybe they've got a lot to work with because Kurt Russell has been in a lot of stuff.
Well, one of the things they said
career.
is that one of the things that one of the Collider guys said was that he's just that good looking that his face hasn't really aged a lot.
It's true.
So some of the stuff that they did was actually practical, just with makeup, and then they went in and touched it up with the CGI stuff.
Yeah.
That kind of, I mean, it's not like they're trying to take one person and make him look like another person.
Yeah.
So, or what they did with Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges doesn't really look the same.
He didn't age as well as Kurt Russell has.
Right.
That's true.
He aged differently. He looks very different than his younger self.
Well, and you can. I mean, the face is plumper. The skin is, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But
that was still really cool.
It was
really, really well done.
well done. And then Mantis, I loved her. I want to see her in everything now. I loved her. I loved her character. I loved the person who played her. Yeah.
I love the interaction with her and Drax. Like her and Drax, like Drax trying to like be the emotional support for her, but like
you're ugly.
Totally missing it. Like totally missing. Like one of the best lines is in the end of the movie, and you're pretty. Long pause. On the inside, like just the deadpan, like it's awesome. Okay, so I loved this movie. It's pretty damn close to the first one for me. The music didn't hit as hard with me this time. There was a couple times when things happened, like you said, where I think the joke or the story would have been better served without showing that in the previews. It's a double-sided coin dagger thing. I don't know, whatever. I'm terrible at metaphors.
You're Drax.
Exactly. The whole idea of trying to show a movie and get people excited about it without showing anything is kind of counterintuitive. So they had to show something.
The jokes, I mean, they showed. I just think they showed more than they should have.
Probably.
And I felt that way when we were seeing
the trailers.
The trailers, and I was like, I really hope that they haven't shown too much, and I think they did.
I really liked the whole movie for me was the finding of your
family,
your family, your purpose within your family, what your family is. It's not always blood. It's not always. I'm knocking things over. It's not always who you think it is. And they talk about this, about how sometimes what you really need as a family member is sitting next to you. And it's your best friend, or it's the guy who raised you, or it's your furry little pet with a triangle face.
Trash Panda.
Trash Panda. We're going to get shirts for our buddy. The Trash Panda on them. One of the things that a lot of people complaining about that I really, really appreciated was the fact that this was not the same movie. I just talked about this with the Blade Runner 2049. They took the initial story of the first one and advanced the story. And you cannot tell a comic book movie without talking about family. Every freaking superhero out there that you can think of had some kind of family thing happening to them, and that's why they're in the position that they're in. And so it's really hard to sit here and say, well, there's awfully a lot about family. Read a fucking comic book, you people. Jesus Christ. Now, was it a little... Was the twist at the end? I won't really call it a twist, because it was... You could kind of see it coming. It wasn't like it was... I put this up, but I'm gonna tell you again. Spoilers. The path that Ego, the Living Planet, who's Peter Quill's dad, is going, it never really changes. The course never really changes, and that's a twist to me. That's we're going this way, we're going this way, we're going this way, and then turns. That's a twist to me, and that Ego never really did that. Ego was always on that course and explaining the whole time how he just felt like he was better than everybody else, and I didn't think the twist was a big deal, but some people complained about it, and I get that. But I loved his interaction with Peter. I love the fight at the end with the two of them, two Celestials pretty much going at it. Very much Matrix Reloaded, the last one where Neo and Smith are flying around through the air. The Gamora Nebula stuff was way awesome. How Nebula kind of pretty much broke down to her sister, like, I'm this way because of you, because of what Thanos did to me, because I could never beat you, and all I ever wanted was a sister. I mean, that was like heart-wrenching. Not the most heart-wrenching thing in the entire movie, but I mean, Yondu was awesome. Michael Rooker was amazing. This is probably his best performance he's ever had in his entire life as a character actor, and he was amazing.
Yeah, I'm sad. I'm sad he's not going to be...
I'm sad he's not going to be on anymore. They don't have Barry Allen to come and fuck with the timeline, so... Yeah. But, you know... Well,
they know. I mean, you know, they've said that the next Avengers, with everybody in it...
Infinity
War, will be advanced in the timeline, so... Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 are like months apart, and then Infinity War will
like
be
2018 or whatever
advanced in the timeline, so chances are good that the next Guardians of the Galaxy will be advanced as well. I think we need to go see it again. There's a ton of Easter eggs, a ton that you know, a lot of them I got, and a lot of them I didn't. So it's definitely a rewatch and a buy, and so you can find them.
Oh yeah. And the other thing that was kind of a big deal with this one is they made 5 post-credit scenes, and so everybody was talking about why are they doing 5? Well, some of it was just lip service for the comic book geeks out there in the universe, and some of them were kind of setups for things that are going to happen in the future. They brought up Adam. Adam Warlock is one of the original kind of good guys who goes against Thanos. He's genetically engineered to take people out. To be a bad guy, to be a baddie, and he's like, screw that, I'm a good guy, and he goes off, and and he is pretty much the main guy who goes against Thanos in all of the comics. So you can't have the Thanos story arc without kind of having him in it, so that makes sense. All the Ravagers getting together, all of them were actually an homage to the original Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's actually a tease for stuff they're gonna do in 3. And then they had the Sean Gunn's character getting the arrow at the end and trying to learn how to do it, how to whistle the arrow around and stuff, and then hitting Strax in the chest, which was awesome. And then, but the big one for me was Stan Lee with the Watchers. It's been a internet rumor for years and years and years that he's a Watcher.
Stan Lee's a Watcher.
And Kevin Feige came out and said, maybe. And then there's this scene, so he's either a Watcher or works for the Watchers or whatever.
Well, and he makes reference to, I don't remember if it was in the post-credits or in the scene when they're jumping and they jump through that planet.
Right.
Where he says, and then I was a FedEx delivery guy.
Yeah.
So
he's the same character.
He's the same guy.
For all the characters.
Everything, which is interesting. That kind of blew my mind. I had to go back and go, wait a minute. So, you have
to go watch all the Stan Lee. I'm sure there's something on YouTube with all the Stan Lee cameos.
Yeah, if not, there will be soon.
Right. So overall, I really love this movie. I thought it was awesome. Like, the first one's like here, the second one's like here. It's a really good second movie, I think. It doesn't ruin the franchise. It's not the end of the world. It's a really, really good movie, and it made you with all the feels. I'm giving it about I'm thinking about like 8 or so on a scale of 10. I need to get like a proper rating scale at some point in time. I'm about an 8 to 5. Kind of, that's where I'm at.
All right, I thought you would rate it a little higher than that. Okay. Well, I mean,
I gave Rogue One a 9.
Okay. Well, Well, there are a lot of Marvel movies, and so it's really hard to, I guess, rate it. Going by yours, I guess I would give it a 7.
I don't get it. All right.
I just, it was good. It wasn't my favorite.
All right. I get it. Still worse, still the top one. That's not an argument. That's truth. So, other comic book stuff. It came out that they're going to do a Hellboy remake. Now, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here for a second. Guillermo del Toro, who did the first two with Ron Perlman, wanted to do the third one. Has tried multiple times to go to the studio and say, I want to do this third one. The problem is that his idea will cost $200 million. If you lump the two movies together worldwide, they haven't made $200 million. And so, although I really, really like those first two Hellboys and all the practical characters and very little CGI and all of that stuff that they did, I get why the studio didn't want to do it. So then, after he did this pitch a few weeks ago, about a month ago or whatever, it came out. Mike Mignola, who is the original creator of the comic, posted that they're actually going to do a full reboot of the Hellboy universe with David Harbour as Hellboy. Which is cool. I think it's a really cool kind of idea of rebooting the franchise. And the reason that I say that it's cool is that they're going to do it like the comic. It's going to be R-rated. It's going to be much more the horror kind of feel than more of the first two were more kind of kid-friendly-ish.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah.
I mean, they were PG-13 because monsters and stuff, but still.
They were before their time. If they had made those, and I think that's why they didn't make as much money. I mean, now I think a lot of the people that are into the Marvel and DC movies really appreciate those first two Hellboys. Yeah. Whereas when they first came out in the movies, in the movie theater, it was still a
novelty kind of thing, a novelty movie. Yeah. So,
and I mean, I understand the studio not wanting to take a risk on that.
Not that big of a risk on something that really has a proven track record of doing okay and doing well, but not that well. It's not a Marvel movie. It's not Star Wars.
It'll do that well being rated R. I mean, just look at Deadpool or Logan,
that kind of thing. If you do it right, you give them like an $80 million budget and it makes 160, 170. The second one, they'll give them $120 million and it might make that money back, and then you're in that $200 million range for the third one. And that's my issue. So we'll never get to see Guillermo's conclusion of his trilogy, but we will get a proper Hellboy for the comic. So, yay. I'm really happy for David Harbour. I'm really happy that they're going to do it. And Neil Marshall, who directed The Descent and does a bunch of stuff for the Game of Thrones, is going to direct it. So it's going to have that feel to it, which I'm way okay with.
Everybody's going to die.
Everybody's going to die. We had 3 trailers come out since the last time we were able to talk to y'all. We had Wonder Woman, we had Dunkirk, and we had Blade Runner 2049. All 3 of them came out. We did trailer reactions to all of them. My Blade Runner one is apparently copyright restricted in 235 countries. Apparently the US is not one of them. I don't know why. My little 37 subscribers complaining. Whatever. So of the 3...
It's not them.
I know. Of the 3, now you've seen all 3. It's been a while since we've seen the Wonder Woman one. Although, was it on the? It was. It was. It was on, and Dunkirk was on there, but Blade Runner was not for Guardians.
Blade Runner wasn't it?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
So of the 3,
yes.
Which one are you
most excited about?
Yeah.
I still think Blade Runner. Just because I'm just in general not super excited about Wonder Woman. I get it. But I watched Linda Carter in Wonder Woman when I was a kid, but it's not one of my more favorites, especially the DC universe. Batman's still probably my favorite of the DC universe. So I mean, I'm excited, but and then there's also the whole DC drama.
Right. Right. That's really what it comes down to.
You're kind of I'm on the fence. We'll see how good it is, but yeah, I love Blade Runner, and I am greatly hoping that they do a good job.
I really looking forward to that. I think it's a modern interpretation of that genre, which is really what I want, is a modern sci-fi noir kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean the advances in technology.
Yeah, just period. But of the three, I'm really looking forward to Wonder Woman, but really Dunkirk. Dunkirk looks amazing. I've been in her ear since I saw the trailer, the very first trailer, and we have to go see it in IMAX, and we have to see it on a 70 millimeter.
History nerd.
I was a history major at one point in time in my life until I realized I can't make any money.
Take a lot of Kleenex.
Take a lot of Kleenex and a lot of like, oh my god, that happened. So yeah, that's just it's Christopher Nolan, which is amazing, and him doing a period piece. Okay, B, awesome. C, it's about Dunkirk. They've never done Dunkirk.
No,
they've done D-Day. They've done Midway. They've done Tora. I mean, they've Pearl Harbor. They've done all of the stuff for World War II. They haven't done that, and that's a huge story.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they've.
Well, because it's an English story, an English and French story, not an American story.
But it's a good story.
It's a great story, but that's really what it's come down to. So yeah, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most, and a lot of it is because of the way it was made. Because I'm kind of the nerd. We want to talk about Phoenix Comic Con for a minute, just for a second. We had some sad news.
I'm sad.
Arthur Duvall, or Darvell, I'm going to say his name, Darvell, and Charlie Cox both had to cancel today. So, which frees up our Sunday. But they both got jobs, and they're going to be filming. I'm not, again, I said this last week when Joan Cusack stepped away. I'm never gonna be mad at an actor for taking a job and skipping out on a con.
The only thing is it's so close. I mean, really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you starting tomorrow?
Yeah.
Because it's so close. You can't say, hey, I can start, but I can't start until after. And it's Memorial Day weekend, so I would think that actors
But neither one of them are American. And so if they're getting jobs back home in the UK,
I guess
they don't really care about that.
That's true.
And if they need to start filming on Monday morning at 8 o'clock, they're not going to be around here on Sunday. They're going to be on a plane flying to wherever. Let's be honest. It's going to be Cardiff. There's where they're going to film in Wales.
Yeah.
So
they did say Phoenix Comic Con said that they will try to get somebody to replace them, but there's no guarantee.
It's no guarantees. There's 14 days, so 2 weeks from tomorrow. So yeah, but we did get one replacement for Joan Cusack, and that was Ryan Hurst. He's Opie from Sons of Anarchy, but he's been in Saving Private Ryan. He was the kid who got the paralyzed and Remember the Titans. I'm not going to put up the spoiler thing. It's 15 years old.
You don't know that by now.
But he's been in The Outsiders, which is the new show on, is it A&E, where they live in the hills of West Virginia. Yeah. Like, everybody who said, like, hardly anybody's watching it, but everybody I've talked to who said it has seen it. Says it's really good. So he's actually a replacement. He's coming in. That's kind of cool. Just depending on what the schedule is going to be like, maybe we'll actually be able to go to the panel. I don't care about going to get an autograph or photo with him, unless he's going to sign on a motorcycle.
Unless it was the whole Sons of Anarchy.
If it was the Sons of Anarchy group, then yeah, I'd totally. If Tommy Flanagan was here and Charlie Hunnam and all of them and Ron Perlman, that would be awesome. Then yes, we'll be going to get stuff signed. But that, just him is cool, but not enough to do the other thing. And so we were gone all weekend, and we got home late Sunday. We watched Doctor Who, and then we got Monday, and I came home sick from work because my stomach, I had an upset tummy. So we didn't do the Doctor Who thing, and then we went the Doctor Who review, and then last night we went and saw Guardians. So we're gonna do a quick 4 or 5 minute rundown of the latest episode, which was called Knock Knock, which is important. So this was this season's haunted house episode.
Right.
There's always at least one haunted house episode in every season. Now you're gonna say, no, there isn't. Okay, so Mars with the water was a haunted house episode, and Blink isn't. There's always at least a haunted. Does it have to be on Earth to be a haunted house episode, right? So that the episode starts with Bill packing, and then she pulls out her phone. She goes 3, 2, 1, and the TARDIS materializes around her stuff, and she's like, "This is the best way to move ever." And I'm like, "Ah!
Why did no one think of this sooner?
Why are we just getting to this now?" And so that was, I thought, was like just a subtle little, like, why has never, like you said, why has nobody ever thought about this? Bill moves into this creepy old house with this creepy old man.
There was a moment, which I think that and the end were the whole point of this episode.
When they're in the TARDIS?
Yes, where she's asking him 20 questions again, and asks him where his bedroom is, and he says, "I don't sleep." And she said, "You don't sleep?" And he said, "No, unless I've had a big meal or I'm regenerating."
Right.
And then
he kind of like pauses.
He gets this kind of look on his face.
Yeah.
And then turns around and he's like, "All these questions." And then they
just remember Time Lord. I'm a Time Lord. And and she was very like pomp and circumstance of the Time Lord, just like the hand motion with the hat and stuff. And he's like, "That's why I left, because of all the pomp and circumstance." And then the joke with the you guys have big hats. He says, "No, big robes with big collars." Great reference. Bill moves into the house with all these strangers. I don't want to say strangers. She knew a couple of them. One of the guys is always trying to pick up on her. She finally comes out and says, "I'm into girls. I'm sorry." It was implied in the first episode, but they never really came out and said it. So this time they said it. So I just thought that was a big deal. They actually just said it. I just thought it was a big deal. Is it? I don't know. I think it's a big deal. Let's see. And then the episode turns into the companion and a friend figuring out stuff, and the doctor and a friend figuring out stuff, and they figure out things separately. And in this episode, the doctor figures out one end, and Bill figures out kind of the other end, and they kind of work their way towards each other. And that's very ABC Doctor Who. And it's, Rose and Eccleston did it all the time, and the Ponds and Smith and Tennant. I mean, it's standard fare. This is the playbook for Doctor Who.
Well, and they've done it a lot in this season so far. Like, almost every episode has been not the two of them figuring stuff out together.
Right.
Or him. It's almost like I guess it's kind of obvious. She is his reluctant companion. He doesn't want her, but he needs her, I guess. Because he's always like going off and doing it by himself.
And she's kind of forcing herself through forcing her way onto the TARDIS. And so he's kind of reluctantly like, "Okay, I'm coming back. And I'll show you what's going on." And again, with all the questions, why do you keep asking me all these questions? You're not going to be here very long. That kind of thought. Yeah, so I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point. This episode is about bugs in the wood, and they are eating people every 20 years?
23 years or
something like that. And the old man in the house is taking care of a woman who's in the tower, and Bill and her friend get into the tower, and the lady's like wooden.
Yep.
And so they have this long discussion, and she kind of seems forgetful. And then the old man shows up and says, daughter, you need to go back to bed, and you haven't been feeling well and whatever. And then it comes to find out that the woman, the wooden woman, is actually the old man's mother, and he's been keeping her alive by these alien cockroach bug things that eat people and then turn her into wood to help preserve her.
That he found in the garden when he was a little kid.
little boy. And so just a very odd bad guy monster this time. I mean, they don't normally use, water's a big thing. They always seem to use water and ice and that kind of thing, but wood bugs, it's not really something they normally do. But this whole episode is really about the Time Lord stuff in the TARDIS, that conversation, and then at the end, the Doctor shows back up at the vault, and Nardal is watching the door, and he's playing with it, and some lock pops open, and the Doctor walks up with Mexican food takeout and whatever, and says, okay, it's my shift. And they kind of have a discussion, and it's very kind of one-sided, with Nardal telling the Doctor different things, and then there was a line in there about you put a piano on the inside, and whoever's on the inside of the vault starts playing a piano. And it was very kind of like, okay, now I have questions. I have more questions, because I thought they were protecting the gate from making sure nobody opened it, because whatever's on the outside is coming to our world. But more of it almost seems like a prison now.
Yeah. And
then he's coming in, and they gave him something, whoever, it's still a master.
Right.
But Nardal leaves, the Doctor stays, he has a conversation with whoever it is on the other side of the vault door. They discuss, it's a one-sided conversation where the Doctor does all the talking. I want to come in, I've got Mexican food, I want to tell you the story about a house that's eating people and all this stuff. And then the piano starts playing, and they open the door, and then this is the end of the episode. So the whole episode is for the last 3 minutes and that 3 minutes in the TARDIS.
Moffat's going to give us a little bit at a time.
It's going to be
every episode until we get to the end.
It's going to be fucking sucky. And they said too that he's going to start his regeneration before the end of the last episode. So this is going to be the 2 or 3 episodes out, which I think they did that with Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Where he had a couple of episodes where he was kind of cleaning everything up.
Yeah, he was going around and
yeah. So did you like this episode?
It was okay.
It was
It was okay.
It was like
it was a little confusing. I kept not understanding, like you said, that the students in the house didn't, like, in the beginning they didn't seem to know each other, because the one girl was introducing everybody to Bill,
right?
But then they all knew the Doctor, so they knew, and then Bill kept introducing him as her grandfather, and I was like, they obviously know who he is, so they must go to school with you. Why do you keep introducing him your grandfather? I was like, well, I don't understand what's going on.
Right. I it was okay. It was better than the robot emoji episode. Smile. It was better than that episode, because there was actually some scary stuff going on. But it was just okay, and that's fine. Like we've talked about this before, they're not all gonna be home runs. But after the last one, how good the last one was, and then you get this one, which was kind of a filler.
Yeah.
I won't say filler until I've seen the whole season, but it was a filler. And we watched Class. I'm done with Class. We'll binge watch it at the end of the season or whatever. I'm done.
Okay.
I was fine. And then the girl who shares her heart with the shadow demon.
Oh yeah.
And Abby and Roz finally hook up. That was like 3 episodes in. They finally hook up, and then the shadow demon started having emotions, like, and like,
it was a little cheesy.
It was like super, like, really. He's like, I'm gonna cry. Can we cuddle? It's like, you're a fucking shadow demon. I just like it was. Yeah, it was.
He had gay. There's a lot of sex in this teenage show.
It
first
is.
of all, and then he had gay sex with his second.
I thought it was a woman. I don't know. It's
got a deep voice.
They're shadow demons.
And then
is there a male or female?
And then he wanted to cuddle, and
it was just.
It was weird.
I'm done. I've been trying to be excited about this show because I like spin-offs. I love Torchwood and I just the Sarah Jane Chronicles, was that what they called it?
Yeah.
And I think it's cool when they expand the universe, but this is just and we've talked about it, how it's Buffy and so
well, they can't all be home runs. You just said that.
I know, but I haven't found one that I've really liked yet, and so
all right,
that's just where I'm at. All right, so what do you guys think? Did you like Guardians as much as I did, or did you hate it like she did?
I didn't hate it.
Did you like this episode of Doctor Who? And then, are we looking forward to all the movies that are coming out still this summer? By the way, Guardians is technically the first summer movie. Even though we've had Beauty and the Beast and Fast 8 and Logan and whatever. Movies are making $1 gazillion. And then we are 14 days out from Phoenix Comic-Con. We will be all over the place. We get there Thursday afternoon. We'll be staying until late Sunday. Please come by and find us. Say hello. We have a stack of bags that we will give away if you see us, and we will be walking around with the Pop Culture Cult shirts on Friday. So please stop by, take a selfie with us, and post it to the internets and share the good word of what we're doing. Anything else? Good. You can get a hold of us at the Pop Culture Cult on Facebook. We're Pop Culture Cult 1 on Instagram, and we're at pop_cult1 on the Twitters. I'm going to do it this way this time, so we'll go right here. Is the subscribe button to the YouTube channel, and then right here is we'll put some trailer reaction up there. I'm not really sure which one I'm going to put up there right now. So
the one that's banned in 355 countries.
Yeah, something, I don't know. We'll see. And so until next time, we'll see you next week on our regular day, hopefully Tuesday. And until next time, good night now.